Have you ever felt manipulated, devalued, and constantly on edge in a relationship? This could be a sign of narcissistic abuse, an insidious form of manipulation that can be difficult to recognize. It's vital to understand its signs and impacts for your own protection and well-being. Narcissistic abuse is a complex issue involving subtle but harmful behaviors that can leave victims feeling trapped and powerless. But don't worry, we're here to help. In this video, we delve deeper into the signs of narcissistic abuse, helping you understand this complex issue. Narcissistic abuse often starts subtly, making it hard to recognize. It's a unique form of emotional and psychological abuse perpetrated by individuals who lack empathy and have an inflated sense of their own importance, known commonly as narcissists. These individuals have a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and they use abuse to control and manipulate others for their own benefit. Imagine a slow, creeping fog, gradually thickening around you. That's how narcissistic abuse often starts, not with a bang, but with subtle manipulations that escalate over time. It's a process of grooming that can make the victim question their own reality, a tactic known as gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser denies or twists the victim's reality, causing them to doubt their own memories, perceptions, and sanity. It's a cruel game of mental chess where the narcissist always has the upper hand. In addition to gaslighting, narcissists use emotional manipulation, exploiting their victims' feelings to control and dominate them. This could be in the form of playing the victim, guilt-tripping, or using fear and intimidation. They are masters at finding the emotional vulnerabilities of their victims and exploiting them. Another common tactic is constant criticism, designed to undermine the victim's self-esteem, making them more dependent on the narcissist's approval. The narcissist might belittle, demean, or ridicule the victim, often under the guise of jokes or constructive criticism. But let's be clear, there's nothing constructive about it. Narcissistic abuse is a destructive cycle of control, manipulation, and erosion of self-worth. It's a slow, insidious process that can leave victims feeling confused, violated, and alone. But understanding what narcissistic abuse is and the tactics narcissists use can arm us with the knowledge to recognize it. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards dealing with narcissistic abuse. So, what are the signs that you might be a victim of narcissistic abuse? One of the most common signs is the feeling of being constantly belittled. The narcissist may use sarcasm, teasing, or criticism to subtly undermine your self-esteem. This isn't about constructive criticism or friendly banter. It's about making you feel lesser, to the point where you may start questioning your own worth. Another sign is the sensation of walking on eggshells. You may find yourself being overly cautious with your words and actions, out of fear of triggering a narcissist's anger or disappointment. This could be because you've experienced sudden mood swings from them, or perhaps they've reacted unpredictably to seemingly minor issues. The constant stress of trying to avoid these volatile reactions can be incredibly draining. Feeling isolated is also a common sign. Narcissists often use a tactic called triangulation to isolate their victims. They might sow discord between you and your loved ones, or paint themselves as the only person who truly understands you. This can create a sense of dependency on the narcissist, making it difficult for you to seek help or escape the abusive situation. Lastly, if you're experiencing self-doubt, it could be a sign of narcissistic abuse. Narcissists are masters of manipulation, often employing a technique known as gaslighting. This involves denying or twisting the truth to make you question your own memory, perception, and sanity. Over time, this can lead to confusion, anxiety, and a crippling sense of self-doubt. It's important to note that these signs may vary depending on the individual and their relationship with the narcissist. What's more, these signs are not exclusive to narcissistic abuse and can also occur in other types of abusive relationships. Always trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. These signs are often subtle and easily overlooked, but they can have a significant impact on one's mental and emotional health. The impact of narcissistic abuse can be profound and long-lasting. It's like a shadow that looms over the lives of those who've experienced it, often resulting in a series of psychological effects. One of the most common impacts is a significant drop in self-esteem. Imagine being constantly belittled, criticized, and made to feel worthless. Over time, it's only natural for one's self-confidence to erode, leaving behind a sense of worthlessness and self-doubt. Then, there's the anxiety. The constant fear of doing something wrong, of triggering an outburst, can leave victims in a state of perpetual worry. It's like living on a tightrope, always anticipating the next fall. Depression, too, is a common aftermath. The persistent negativity, the emotional drain, can lead to a profound sense of sadness and hopelessness. It's a heavy burden to bear, and one that can often feel insurmountable. And let's not forget the potential for post-traumatic stress disorder. The repeated emotional trauma can leave deep psychological scars, resulting in flashbacks, nightmares, and severe emotional distress. But it's important to remember that these effects are not a life sentence. There is help available, and there are ways to heal from the wounds of narcissistic abuse. Reach out to mental health professionals, join support groups, embrace self-care. It's a journey, and it may be a difficult one, but it's a journey worth taking. Remember, you are not alone, and there is help available to you. To summarize, narcissistic abuse is a form of emotional and psychological manipulation that can have severe impacts on a person's well-being. It's a complex issue, often hidden behind closed doors, and it can be hard to recognize the signs. We've talked about those signs today, from subtle devaluations to outright emotional exploitation, and we've discussed the effects, which can range from a sense of confusion and self-doubt to more severe mental health conditions. The key takeaway here is awareness and vigilance. Recognizing these signs can be the first step to breaking free from the cycle of abuse. And remember, it's essential to seek help, whether from a trusted friend, a support group, or a professional counselor. You are stronger than you think, and with the right knowledge and support, you can overcome the effects of narcissistic abuse. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are not alone.